Hello indie game fans, I have a whole bunch of roguelites with updates in this video, as well as some base builders and brawlers, touching upon some of my favorite genres, so let's dive right in. Let's begin with Mayhem Brawler Air Supremacy, a free update that brings the game to version 2.0, adding in a variety of air combos as you launch and juggle enemies up in the air. There are also counter-attacks, off-the-ground attacks, which allows you to hit and launch enemies back up into the air to continue your combos, making this underrated brawler even better. According to the developers, this is not the end, with several more updates in the works, so if you have been sleeping on this beat 'em up, do pick this up. A title that made my previous list of surprise releases is the roguelite survival city builder Against the Storm, having you build and manage a city in a world of perpetual rain, releasing the Coral Forest update in early access. The titular Coral Forest is a new biome where the corals act as trees and provide more resources than regular ones, and does also include changes in the AI in how orders are resolved, which is of interest to fans of the genre. The developer of Hoplegs did make a pretty sweet narrated trailer for this frustration platformer, where if you like games like Getting Over It, you might be interested in this.
Do you have what it takes to save the world? Do you have what it takes to hop? Play as Hoppus, a newly squared wizard's apprentice, trying to save the world, one leg at a time. Embark on a glorious mission to reach the king before it's, something about a prophecy? Conquer harsh terrain and master even the most challenging of climbs. And if you need a helping leg, bring a friend on your epic journey. For better or worse, together you will be unstoppable. That was close. Almost there. Well, if that doesn't work, you can always take out your frustrations on each other in versus mode. Hoplegs Save the World on Steam and Nintendo Switch.
One of the must-watch parody kung fu movies is Kung Fury from 2015, leaning on 1980s action comedy movie tropes, which you can find on Steam for free, and actually has a pretty decent tie-in video game named Kung Fury Street Rage. Somehow, 6 years later, the developers are back with a paid DLC named A Day at the Beach, which, weirdly enough, stars David Hasselhoff in a Baywatch-inspired title, but with dinosaurs and Nazis to beat up, where I'm simply amazed that this piece of DLC is even a thing.
At Fixit Incorporated, we have a vision. A vision to save the day. To be the future. To make history. In style.
The not-so-indie factory builder Satisfactory has been chugging along in early access, releasing one significant update after the next, much to the delight of the community, where they are up to Update 5, which seems to be primarily focused on cosmetics, but that just means even more gorgeous factories and production lines to feast your eyes on. Don't worry, there are plenty of gameplay related changes as well, including upgrades to trains and vehicles, changes to the various maps, and even new music and dedicated servers, laying the foundation to a title that is fast approaching overtaking Factorial's spot at the top of the heap.
savior of Rat Kingdom, slayer of the tyrannical Greenwort, and royal protector of the realm.
One of the best looking and playing action platformers of the year is Tales of Iron, where you play as the heir to the throne, must retake it after your kingdom was invaded, where the Bloody Whiskers free update adds post-game content, making this even better.
Prove his worth in a deadly trial of combat. Defeat the most lethal warriors from across the land to claim the key to the old king's room. But what heinous secret lurks within? Your tale continues.
I'm pretty excited to share that one of the most impressive roguelite first-person shooters, Gunfire Reborn, launched out of early access and is perhaps best in class at this moment in time. It does have a look and feel similar to that of Borderlands, with a huge variety of playable characters and guns, all of which keeps the gameplay fresh. The shooting is great as well, and is basically what you would want from a game like this, and even though it comes from a not-so-indie Chinese developer, I do still think it's worth a play.
What a sweet little orc village. Let's make some trees nearby, a few rivers, with a happy little bush over here. Perfect. And some cats. Everybody loves cats. What are you doing? My innocent cats? No! You will answer for it, dumb orcs. Well, let's start again.
Let's kick off the top 3 with World Box God Simulator, a genre that is a little bit niche these days since we are far removed from the heyday of Populous and Black and White. But this is a sandbox simulator where you play as an almighty deity, creating worlds and civilization, watching how they interact, and perhaps unleash your wrath on them ever so often. I think that the scale of this game is pretty impressive, where the simulation can run even on very large maps, and interestingly, does have fantasy races like orcs and elves, but you can also mix in zombies, UFOs, and even a giant crab kaiju. The tricky part about sandbox games is finding your own fun, but there are plenty of emergent stories to be told from the interactions of the game's systems, making this a fun title to tinker around with. One of the most impressive pixel art RPGs is Legend of Keepers, having made my list of the best games like Darkest Dungeon, and one of the reasons why this is the case is that they've continued to release DLC, both free and paid, to continue supporting this game. Wrath of the Draconids is the latest free one, adding several new dragon or dragon-adjacent creatures like Wyvern, Basilisk, and Drake, having some impressive designs which I think looks fantastic. Just a quick trailer for Dead Cells Everyone Is Here, one that, borrowing from Smash Brothers, is filled with all sorts of crossover characters from some of the best and most popular indie games. We have representation from Hyper Light Drifter, Hollow Knight, Skull the Hero Slayer, Blasphemous, Guacamelee, and Curse of the Dead Gods, all lovingly adapted into this style which makes sense with this game, simply looking fantastic, taking the #1 spot. For more pixel art titles, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.